something up, I know it's...
Well, this is going to be saved to your dashboard and everything. His message has universal appeal.
Yeah.
He doesn't really have to.
What would be the best internet information source to direct someone to?
Yen 2020.
Yen20.com?
Yeah,
That's the
his,
main, that's the official website, but there are other websites out there. There's one that's called ganglinks.com.
or YouTube,
YouTube.
right? YouTube, Andrew Yen. Can you please repeat what you just said?
Sure. There's a YouTube video called Yangumentary, and if you go to the description, look it up, it provides a rundown with the timestamps, different topics that Andrew has addressed. So it's a compilation of his best, his greatest hits, basically, online. So it's from his appearances, his town halls, his podcasts, etc. So it's called Yangumentary, and it's making the rounds.
Can you spell, please?
Yangumentary, Yangumentary. And I think it's 1.0. So there's probably going to be another version coming out soon.
Okay, you'll see. Fantastic. Thank you. Well, that is.
Yeah, the CD's in my car, so I listen to him whenever I can. Ooh.
All right.
All right. Yes.
More Yang Yang.
This is me.
Because it's almost
that's him.
see-through.
That's his sister.
Yeah, holding up the sign. Now
Yeah.
that sign melted in
That's
the
Jenny.
rain.
Yeah.
That sign melted in the rain. You see it there, but it wasn't there by the time it was over.
Yeah, this is earlier.
You stuck it out through the
Stuck
rain.
it out
Yeah,
through the rain.
cool.
That's for sure. And you do that, create and continue.
Brilliant.
Yeah. You'll be putting together a page of your own.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Curzon he's finance. He's in finance for the campaign, and he showed us how we can set up our own Actblue fundraising page. So he said the first thing you do is ask, and then ask for a specific amount, $25 or more. That should be in the pitch statement of the page, basically. And that's what you do.
Is this?
Hello!
Is this the place?
Oh my God! Brooklyn Young Gang! Come on in!
Oh my gosh,
Put the shoes inside.
we came all the way from Flushing where
Oh
we
my
were out
God.
dancing. So
Oh my God! Hi, Eric.
Sorry we're a little late.
That's okay. Because the New York TV is coming. New York fucking One TV is coming.
New York One?
Yeah.
Tonight?
The reporter. Yeah. They couldn't film us.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I thought it was him. I didn't realize it was your story.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Finally some media coming.
Media is
You're
coming.
expecting media
And
to
then
come? I
my
was like-
filmmaker is here. We have Ethan.
Ethan, okay.
Yeah. So this is great.
All right. Okay, so one of the reasons that Lou and I wanted to be here is that we're organizing a grassroots fundraiser for Andrew Yang, a silent art auction. We've, visited with some of her fellow store owners, some of whom are Yang Gang, but we know with between her stores and one and hopefully more stores that we'll have a place to actually display the art. So we'll have the auction online using an app. We've gotten, we started asking artists and reaching out to people last week. So we've already got about 10 amazing pieces of art, but we wanted to learn about Actblue. We've, been talking to the campaign too about, okay, we're gonna get art, we're gonna sell this art to the highest bidder.
Like I can go on Times Square,
Yeah.
just ask someone to draw.
Yeah, you could do that, but we're getting donations of stuff like this for, so here's a portrait of Andrew as Elvis. He did this for the Bet on Bet on Yang rally they had in Vegas. So it was actually used as a poster. And I think I've got a picture of Zach Grauman holding this poster. So, so we're getting a whole mix of stuff. Yes, if you could get people to do, a series of stuff, I think the more the merrier, and different kinds of art too.
Yeah.
But I would say if you have to convince them to do something for Yang, I think we can find people who will.
No, I
do
just
it
think
or
I just
into
think people on Times Square, they're just starving. They cannot wait for someone to sit down and draw a thing for $5, right? So why not just show the picture of Andrew Yang and say, hey, can you do this? I give you $25 or $50, you know?
Could work. Yeah,
Right.
I'm not familiar.
Right. Because
Yeah,
they're
why
willing
not?
to do $5 for a sitting, you know?
Even with the head and everything that was in the music video or something, you could go that, because then that and just sitting there with someone in Times Square brings even more attention to just other people walking by.
Yeah.
So it's not just about the art, it's also about getting people to notice with the head of Andrew
Right.
Yang.
to make the
head and-
event.
Right.
Or the event.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Almost make it into an event in
Right.
itself.
That's a
And
good
get the conversation.
thinking.
I
Right.
understand
Yeah,
what you-
yeah.
Right.
But then
Rough-
the
rough-
animation, the
yeah.
caricature and
Yeah.
everything too is
Yeah.
another product
Mhm.
of it. So.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Cool. But anybody you
So
know
when is
like
the
that?
auction?
So we are asking for the pieces to arrive in Brooklyn by the end of this year. We may extend that 1 or 2 weeks into January. And then, you know, we have some timing on there. We want to end it January 16th. Like an art opening, except it's an art closing for the last day.
And we want to make this thing a huge event, the last day.
Yes.
Cool.
Love it.
Okay. So how does this activity tie into Actblue?
Yeah.
So what you can do is put that in the title. You know what you're going to be doing. You're having the silent art auction and everything, and include like even if you have like a video or something later on that you want to add to it. That's kind of like an intro to pull people in, as well as the text. That's awesome. So how you would start that process is you want to go to actblue.org. It's going to automatically turn into secure.actblue.com, and then you just log in. And
Did
then
you set up yet for her? Did you set up the?
Well, we were-
kind of quickly.
we were in the-
Let's set up.
in the middle of it.
Yeah.
We had these like disco party sticks that
The sticks, yeah, they make a Y, so it's
and
like a
we
Y.
spontaneously, someone figured out we can make them into a Y, and we all started doing that. And it was not planned. They look
Truckers
like-
for Yang. You see,
Yeah, oh,
you see
yeah.
Fred's truck while they're talking about this. I was just like the timing of it.
I know.
It was
Oh my God, Fred was everywhere that day.
Yes.
No,
yes.
it was so powerful because, you know, we had Yangapalooza. We're in the rain. I mean, it was miserable, right?
Yeah.
But it was great. And then we walked from there, like just, you know, across the river to a local park. We did all these selfies with Andrew before we went to the Liberty and Justice. But we marched as this stretch out line. I don't know if you were there for the UBI march.
Yes.
UBI! Now!
Yes.
Who's, you know, and he's eccentric, but he's announced he wants to run for Congress. Like, there's so many, I think, like, this whole Yang Gang thing.
If you don't mind, I'm gonna interview you again.
Oh, okay.
Is that okay?
Okay.
All right, sorry, we're being very
Where do I go?
loud.
Why?
Should I
Oh,
go
we're
down?
Yang Gang, isn't it?
Yeah, over here.
But, you know, it's
You're
so
right.
much fun to
No,
talk
I'm
to
not
other
putting her in
people about Yang because my family.
Okay. I'm being interviewed.
Yeah. She's ready for a
You did a great job the other day. I think just think
Oh,
we can.
thank you. Thank you. She
better,
has
and
to
I want to get
multitask,
back.
you know? Usually reporters do not carry camera. Oh, can you shut that the thing off and then turn the oven off? Because I smell something burning.
Yeah. It smells like
Pizza's
toast.
burning.
Last time we didn't do
Burning pizza! Are we ready?
it. Okay. Will you take a step to your right? I'm gonna get. Yeah.
Am I right?
This is great. And then I'm gonna get you closer. Last time you did so great, but I'm gonna get you tighter this time.
Okay.
You feel good? You okay?
I want to
Okay,
make
that
sure like
looks
I
good,
wear
right?
same
For
clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It was good last time. I like this like more dramatic lighting too.
Okay.
What do you like to tell people about Andrew Yang who haven't, if they hadn't never heard of him before? Like if you had to give your spiel or sell him in very, very quickly, what would you
Okay.
say about him?
Elevator. pitch.
Elevator pitch, yes.
Andrew Yang is 44 years old, American born, with a Chinese parent from Taiwan, who is running for the Democratic presidential candidate.
as a Chinese person, I was born in Shanghai, and I'm American, so I really root for him. But it's not because only he's Chinese. It's because his policies and his smartness and his. You read his book, The War on Normal People, and then you will also root for Andrew Yang, and you can listen to the book. And once you finish that, you will be Yang again.
Ching, thank you so very much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. And thanks for letting me crash twice now.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you want me to know?
I want you to interview him.
You want to come up? That's so well said. So I have a skeptical reporter's question for you.
Sure.
I obviously see a ton of support for Andrew Yang online.
Yes.
On Facebook, on Twitter.
Yes.
Do you think that will translate to votes? Will people who are so fervently supporting him online go to the ballot box when it comes down to it?
I do. I sincerely do. And the reason for that is, even though it is the internet candidacy, it's translating into real life right now, in an unprecedented way. There are Yang Gang hangs that are happening across the country, and the activity is just going to continue to grow because of that widespread appeal. As candidates drop out, those supporters are going to be looking for someone to get behind. And when they see that Andrew Yang has the vision, he has the intelligence, he has this laser focus about solving the problems that resulted in the current president, I think that that's going to translate into votes and getting involved and showing up to the ballot box, their polling stations for sure.
I'm gonna do my New York question on you, even though you're a Connecticut resident.
All
in
right.
the tri-state region. Do you see any traits that are uniquely New York or New York City in Andrew Yang?
I really do. I definitely see the resilience. He has a swagger about him because he knows the life here, in the city. Having gone to school, studied law at Columbia, and the fact that he lives here, it shows that he has that kind of perspective that makes him an all-around cosmopolitan. But at the same time, through his nonprofit work, with Venture for America, he got to see other parts of the country too. So he doesn't live in a bubble, like a city bubble. But I think the fact that, he's lived here, he lives here, and he's been able to get a feel for how other people think and feel, he can connect with that. I think he has a real emotional intelligence as well as, the book smarts.
Is there anything you want to add?
I want to add that I believe it is imperative that Andrew Yang be the next president of the United States, because as the saying goes, hindsight's 20/20. You have this vision for the future that can be very optimistic. It could be one that changes the country for the better. Economic justice, especially with the freedom dividend, and ending poverty. I really love the fact that Andrew focuses on data and math, but he also has shared a history with us, refreshing our national history, especially when it comes to basic income. Starting with Thomas Paine with the citizens' dividend, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. with the guaranteed minimum income. Elon Musk has mentioned it. Obama has advocated for it, basically saying, we're going to have to think differently about how we work and how we value work and what that means to us. So I really think that Andrew has that clear vision and focus that's going to really turn the tide in this country. I really think that he's a unifier and a visionary and problem solver, as he says. And I'm just excited, for the movement and how it's growing. And I really want to do all I can to see him win.
You guys, he's lucky to have supporters like you. Thank you so much for your time.
I told you! when she called me, right? She's like, I'm gonna interview you. I said, you should interview Nick. And then she said, don't short sell yourself.
I really appreciate you letting me crash. And
The more to get the word out, the better, because we know it's a name recognition thing, but once...
More pieces on us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Primary.
Okay.
Primary.
Oh, okay.
Flag. We have stickers.
Andrew's not here.
He's not here.
Yeah, we're just volunteers. We work for him day and night.
But he lives in New York City. Though.
Yeah.
He is a New Yorker.
Yeah. Democrat.
Yeah. Look at that. You're so happy.